Now in its 9th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, hey everybody, this is Alex and this is the Ramble, and we go until midnight tonight from New York, New York City. You can see right below us there. Hey, guess who's here? Howdy.
Hey, Alex.
There's Steve Kravitz, ladies and gentlemen, our old friend from, he's up there in Worcester.
Worcester. It's been beautiful here.
Really? It was kind of beautiful yesterday here, and now
yesterday was in the 70s.
Yesterday it hit about 70 here.
Right.
And it's getting better, you know.
Right.
We had less snow in New York than in all of history of New York or something.
Is that right?
Yeah, nothing. You got a lot of snow up there, right?
No, not really.
Glorious.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But when you've had kind of a mild winter, yeah, so it's spring now. Yeah, whoop-de-doo. You know.
Well, I'm pretty happy it's spring. I'm done with the winter.
Are you?
Oh yeah, I've had enough of winter.
Yeah, I can imagine that. I don't mind winter. Actually, I mind it. I think I mind it less than I mind summer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I cannot hear. Okay, maybe in Worcester, Massachusetts, where you got trees and things and nice, and it's all wonderful and sweet,
right?
And beautiful and whatever. It's okay, you know. But here, when it's like, when it hits 90, you've got this concrete.
Right.
And it starts radiating all the heat, and it just gets oppressive. Is the only way I can describe it. Do you ever remember that song "Summer in the City" by the Lovin' Spoonful?
Sure.
Do you remember that beginning thing was ba-dum,
right?
That's exactly how it feels.
Is that right?
That's exactly how it feels. Yeah.
Okay.
So up there, you get summer. It's hot. It's maybe 95 degrees. You go sit under a tree.
Right. It's beautiful. It's green here.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
You go sit under a tree. That's what trees are for. In fact, we have a few trees on the street, and a lot of Africans who come in from Africa, and they know exactly what to do when it's hot.
Right.
They simply go and, hit it for the trees. And but we don't have enough trees around here to make summer wonderful.
Right. Right. Well, that's what you get for living in the big city.
Yeah, I mean, you got summer, you can have trees, and they're by a stream, and so if you're really hot, you can go dip in the stream. You know, I mean, here you dip in a sewer. You know, it's not beautiful. It's not beautiful.
Right.
So you follow politics at all?
A little bit.
You following this whole Trump deal?
Trump fiasco?
Yeah. I mean,
I think they're giving it too much attention.
Well, I think they're giving it, well, come on, anything Trump does gets attention.
Right.
So, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, for instance, they were following them when he came in from the airport.
Right.
And
that was ridiculous.
And then to the Trump Tower. And then the next morning he gets out of Trump Tower and he goes down the FDR Drive, or was it the FDR? Yeah, it's the FDR. And he goes down to the courthouse, and they're following him in helicopters.
Right.
Why don't you just say he just left? Oh, by the way, he just got here.
Right.
I mean, why do you have to do all that? It's just insane. Just insane the way they're covering it. But I mean, I think it's an important story in that it's the first time a president of the United States, former president of the United States, has ever been charged with a crime.
Right, but he can still run for president.
Yes, yes.
That's the ridiculous thing. He can go to jail. He can run for president from jail.
Yeah.
From jail.
Well, here's the question I've been asking a lot is what happens to the Secret Service if he goes to prison? Do they have to go to prison with him?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I think they would, actually.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah. See, I don't know if they would give him any prison time because it would
I don't think he'll do prison time.
Not because he doesn't deserve it, okay, but because it's going to be too much trouble to have him in prison.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
it's going to be too expensive.
Yeah. You're going to make it way too expensive. So, I mean, the whole thing, and the amount of money it costs New York City just for this week with him coming in and going to court, millions and millions and millions of dollars.
That's right. Did you see the size of his private jet?
It's not. It's a medium-sized private jet.
Medium size. It's like a 747.
No, it's not that big. I was looking at it. It's not that big. Judge it by its wingspan, and it's not that big. It's.
What do you think it is?
It's big enough, and I don't.
707.
I don't know if that's a 707. I think it's less than a 707. It's more like one of those commuter jets.
Okay.
Okay. Would you agree with that?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's still huge.
And I don't know if he owns it.
I don't know if he owns anything.
I mean, I think he may just, somebody may have lent him the plane or given him the money for the plane or whatever. And then he puts Trump on the side of it. Here comes Trump. Big deal. Guy, like, whose plane? I wonder whose plane that is. I think it might be Trump. It says so on the side. Oh,
right,
okay.
right.
But then again, we don't know. Is it a jet or is it a building? It's got his name on the side of it.
Right, like Trump Towers.
Well, in the old days, he didn't build half that stuff. He just licensed out the naming rights.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, somebody would build a big building, and they wanted to make sure it was a well-known building, so they paid him a couple of $1 million to put Trump on the front of it. That's how he's always just made his money by pushing his name in recent years. That's all.
That's right.
That's all he has.
That's right.
He doesn't even have that anymore. You know what he's doing now to raise money? He's simply sending out letters saying, I'm going to jail and I need some help with my legal fees.
Right.
I thought you were a billionaire. Why the fuck do I have to send money to a billionaire?
Right.
That seems kind of ridiculous, doesn't it?
Right.
It's like, it just is. We're living in times that are so strange that if I had written this as a script several years ago,
it would have got rejected.
It would have gotten rejected as being, this would never happen.
Right,
this
right.
Could
this
never
is a
happen.
fantasy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't understand it. Doesn't make sense to me.
No, me neither.
But did you watch any of it?
I caught a little bit on the news.
Yeah. They're making the same mistake they made in 2016? Yeah, the first
time. Is that when he became president?
Wait. Became president in 2016. Yeah, 2020.
That's right.
Yeah. The same mistake they made that year in giving him too much publicity. He didn't have to pay for a campaign. He didn't have to pay for advertising. He got all the free press he wanted from these people. Simply, they were suckers to his whim. Okay, he'd just say something ridiculous, and they'd be on the air saying, "Did you hear what Trump said today?"
Right.
And they would do it over and over and over again. By the end of it, he got elected because the press wouldn't stop reporting him.
That's right. That's exactly right.
He's kind of like Beetlejuice. If you say his name 3 times, he's there.
You can't get rid of him.
You can't get rid of him. Exactly. And if he just didn't, and I said this back then, Why don't we just stop talking about Trump? Now that he's no longer president, there's no reason to talk to him, right?
Right, I agree. I agree. Stop giving him free press.
Yeah, stop giving him free press. Don't talk about him. He will wither and go away. It will drive him nuts if nobody's reporting on him.
Right.
You know, he'll shoot himself in the foot just to get publicity if need be. Let's drive him to that. Okay, so I've never known a former president that's so reviled as this guy.
Right.
I mean, yes, he's loved by others. That which I totally don't understand. I mean,
No, me neither. I don't get the Trump supporters at all.
Well, here are a bunch of people who consider this. We're moral people. We're
Right.
moral people. Well, then why are you voting for a guy that cheats on his wife? Okay.
Right.
Why are you voting for a guy who has sex with porn stars?
Right.
Why are you having on and on and on? Why this guy is totally morally corrupt? Do you find is your candidate?
Oh yeah, and he's probably going to get the Republican nominee.
He may get it. He may get it. I just don't think there's anybody out there that's got the juice.
Right.
In fact, wouldn't be surprised. I keep talking about DeSantis. I wouldn't be surprised if DeSantis decided not to run.
Right.
Why go up against Trump this year? Let him go up, let him run again, and let him lose again. Okay?
You think he'd lose? I don't think he'd lose against Biden.
I think he'd lose. I really
Against
do.
Biden?
Yeah. Because Biden's done some good things.
Right.
And the only trouble is the Democrats as a party are not very good in turning out churning up the publicity of all the good stuff he's doing.
I think Biden's too old.
Well, I agree with you, but then again, who are we going to run?
Newsom out of California.
Newsom would be good, but I don't think Newsom wants to do it yet. I think he's waiting for 2018 or whatever the next one is. After that, I think he figures he's young enough, he can do it then, and he would do. I think he would do quite well. I think he could.
Yeah, so do I.
I think he could go up against Trump because whatever Trump wants to say, he can counter it.
Right.
The trouble with Biden is
Biden appears weak.
Listen, I don't think I've got all my chops. I don't think I've got all my wits about me. I don't think I'm 100%. But I think I'm more lucid than Biden is.
Yeah.
I know what it is to be 80 years old. I know what it is to be 82 years old and 83 years old. And
how old's Biden now? 77?
No, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Echo, how old is Joe Biden?
Joe Biden is 80.
80.
He was born on November 20th, 1942 in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, 1942. He's 80. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He looks older, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. But all presidents age in the 4 years they're president.
Yeah. I that's one thing, but I think he was always a little doddering in the beginning.
Yeah, so do I.
But he was able to keep it together enough during the campaign, so that wasn't a problem.
Right.
But once he became president, he became more doddering.
Right.
That doesn't mean he can't make good decisions. Right? That just means that presenting himself to the public, he looks like an old doddering man.
Right. He appears weak.
But a lot of the stuff he's doing are good decisions, and he's making a lot of doing a lot of good stuff, which he can go when it's time for an election. For all Trump wants to say against him, and he has tons of things. Oh, look, he's doing this and he's caused that and blah, blah, blah. The fact is that most of the stuff he's accusing him of isn't really true.
Right.
He says, we have the worst economy in 40 years. No, we don't.
No.
No, we don't. And as a matter of fact, he managed to stem the tide on a lot of the prices going up and so on. And you can't blame that on him. You've got to blame that on the greed of the people selling goods.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
and if you have a society that's sitting around saying, "Oh my God, prices are so high," then they raise them. They take that as a reason they can raise them,
Right.
because they will blame it on something else other than the fact that Nabisco decided to charge more for its crackers. You know what we've got going on that's kind of interesting is shrinkflation.
Oh yeah, what's that?
That's when you go to the store and you want to buy a box of Nabisco Triscuits or whatever,
Okay.
and there are less of them in the box.
That's right.
Than were
That's right.
in the box a couple of years. That's shrinkflation. All the boxes, the boxes aren't getting smaller. It's just more air in them now. You know, and you can look at the side. You can see how many, what the weight is on the stuff and what the weight
Right.
was before. That's what they're doing. The shrinkflation, a lot of it.
Right.
You know.
Charging the same price but giving you less product.
Yeah, we order paper towels, and Marjorie could swear they made them thinner.
Oh, less of them. I don't know about thinner, but definitely less of them.
No, they're still the same amount, I think. The price has gone up, however.
Right.
You know, the prices are going up on everything, but that's not his fault. You know, there's only so much he can do about that.
Right, and they keep raising the interest rate too.
Well, that's to try and tamp down inflation, but
Right.
Make people buy less, I guess.
I guess. I don't know how that works.
Because, well, to me it would seem, I don't, look, I never went to
Business school.
business school, so I don't understand this crap. So let me just say that it seems to me that raising the rates on interest only hurts the buying public.
Right.
You know,
That's what I
I
think.
want to buy a car. I want to buy it on time. What's the interest?
Right.
Well, it's been raised. Well, then why should I buy a car? Well, then you're killing the auto industry by doing that. You know,
Right.
but I don't understand it. You know, I wish my
It
friend.
hurts the housing market too.
Yeah, well, I wish my friend Shecky were still alive because he went to business school.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, oh yeah, he graduated. He has a master's or something in business, and he could tell me why raising the rate tamps down inflation, but it doesn't. I don't understand it. You know,
No, neither do I. I don't get it at all.
I don't understand any of this. You know, just
That makes two of us, Alex.
just leave me alone, okay? There was a time
Right.
when I could afford stuff. I mean, I was working too. That helped.
Right.
But you know, I mean, give me a break. You know, Steve and I just want to live our declining years
In peace.
in peace, right? But you're not allowing us to live in peace. And then you got the Republicans want to take away Social Security.
Right. And Medicare.
They want to take away. Can you imagine that, folks? They want
Right.
to take away Social Security and Medicare.
And Medicare. They want to take care
Why?
of Medicare too.
What do they think that is going to? How's that going to benefit the country? You know, if you're going to do something, fine, just as long as it benefits the country.
Right.
But it doesn't.
No.
It doesn't.
The Republicans have blood on their hands.
I think they
Wow.
wake up every morning and say, "How can we fuck old people?"
Right.
You know,
Right.
Hey, old people won't fight back. See, I had a theory a few years ago. I don't know if I'm going to get some kind of a hit from YouTube for saying this, but I said that old people should get very proactive. And proactive is they always go against old people because, well, are they really going to come out and demonstrate?
Right.
Right? We can go after old people. I mean, what are they going to do?
Right.
Well, a lot of us have terminal diseases. So we could be human bombs if we wanted to and,
Oh,
and
God.
not care.
Oh,
They're
God.
screwing with the wrong people,
Right.
right? I mean, all you would need was like for one old person to strap a couple of bombs on himself and blow himself up somewhere, for the government to suddenly say, "Oops, maybe we better take you old people seriously."
Right.
You know, but they figure old people are not gonna they're not gonna
They're
demonstrate.
not going to fight back.
Well, when I was a kid, I went out to every demonstration going. There were two reasons. Number one, you were demonstrating against something horrible and
Right.
vituperative.
The Vietnam War.
The Vietnam War, and also if you went to those demonstrations, there's a possibility you could get laid.
Right.
Right? So
Right.
there are two good reasons to go to a demonstration.
That's right.
Well, at my age, I really don't care about getting laid.
Right.
And I really don't want to leave the house. So years ago, I said, demonstrating is a young people's thing. It's a thing that young people can do and do
Right.
effectively. Hell, if I were 19 now or 20, I'd be to every demonstration going. I would have been
Is that
down.
right?
Yeah, I would have been down in front of the courthouse yesterday, protesting on the side of the people who hate Trump.
Right. Me too.
Yeah. Did you see what they did to Marjorie Taylor Greene?
They booed her out.
Yeah, well, what happened? She came to New York thinking, I'm going to get publicity out of this one. I'm going to New York to support my boy Donald Trump. And she gets out of her limousine or whatever, and she's got a bullhorn. And she starts talking about how this is the end of society as we know it and whatever. And some people knew she was coming, so they were ready for it, and they brought whistles.
Right.
And when she started talking, they started blowing the whistles so she couldn't be heard.
Right. She had to be whisked out of there, too.
She got whisked out of there and took off.
Right.
Yeah. Marjorie Taylor Greene.
She's a piece of work.
She's got the same name as my wife. It's terrible.
It is terrible.
Mm-hmm. No, she's a piece of work. We have a friend who calls our Monday show, Mandy, who lives in Georgia. And I said, how are things going in Georgia? And she went, let's not even talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, she was on 60 Minutes last week.
Right, I saw that.
And the question is, well, I love Leslie Stahl. She wouldn't let her get away with anything.
That's right.
That
was a good interview.
I lauded her for it because most people, and then at one point, she just got to a point where she just rolled her eyes.
Right.
Like, this is ridiculous. What am I
Right,
doing?
You gotta be kidding.
Why am I interviewing this piece of work?
Right.
But yet, Marjorie Taylor Greene, again, another person who has benefited from all the publicity she gets from the news channels.
That's right.
Guess what Marjorie Taylor Greene said today? Guess what she said tomorrow? Guess what she said yesterday?
Can they really believe what they're saying? I mean, does she really believe it? She can't be that lost.
I don't know. Okay? I really don't know. Hard for me to say. I don't, I can't see how she believes it, but apparently maybe she does. Maybe
Right.
she's that wacky, and people voted for her because she was wacky. There's the old saying that it's the squeaky wheel that gets the grease.
Right.
And I think that's the case in politics, too. All these are squeaky wheels, and they wake up in the morning and say, how can I be squeakier than I was yesterday? And eventually they're going to shoot themselves in the foot to get publicity. If nobody cared what Marjorie Taylor Greene was doing, we wouldn't hear a thing about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Same with Trump.
Exactly. So it's amazing. It's just amazing. But we're running out of time here. We got about a minute here. Any gigs you want to plug?
No, don't be ridiculous.
Well, we always used to end our interviews with any gigs you want to plug.
Right.
Where are you going to be playing, Steve?
I'll be playing at Lowe's.
Be playing at Lowe's. No, you at the Punchline? You at the other cafe? You at?
I was never at the other cafe.
You never worked the other cafe?
No, and I lived a block away from it. I could have walked to it.
Yeah, but you did the Holy City Zoo, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everybody.
Oh yeah. Religiously.
Yeah, well, that was like a chapel, you know.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And we'll talk about it when we talk next. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the remembrances of the Holy City Zoo. Anyway, that's Steve Kravitz. He's playing absolutely nowhere except right here, and we appreciate it. Thank a
you,
lot,
Alex.
Steve. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Now in its 9th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Yes. Thank you so much, Steve. Let me see. Let me get my microphone. Microphone. I can't speak English anymore. Microphone working. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. It's a Thursday, and we're going to take some more calls and talk to people here on the Zoom. Okay. So let's see here. Let's bring them in here. Let me see. First of all, let me go to the Zoom. There we go. And then I start bringing these people in. Let's see here. There's me. There's Jeff Stein. There's Josh Wheeler. There's my good friend Charlie. And we are bringing up Brian Neary. Will be here any second now, I'm sure. There he is. Look at him. How are you, Brian?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing not well. Today I have not been doing well. Just too many things pissing me off. You know? And
I agree, but I had to go to work.
It's one thing. No, but it's one thing after another. You know?
Same with work.
Yeah. What was really pissing me off, I think, I don't know how I'm going to do it. It's like an addiction, right? How many here have Amazon? And to how many of you is it an addiction?
You know, the problem with Amazon is you click like 2 times and you just bought something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so easy. It's so easy.
Yeah, and it's so hard to get this stuff to you. You know, they went a while back. They decided they weren't going to deal with United Parcel, and they weren't going to have to do with the what do you call it? United States Post Office, and to a lesser extent, Federal Express. And they started delivering themselves. Oh, has that turned into a cluster? You know what? Now, by the way, I'm trying to avoid dirty words tonight because I want to see if they still demonetize me. You know? Because they demonetized me the other day on a completely clean show, and then when I protested it, they checked it over and said, well, no, it's still not acceptable for sponsors. And I think it was like one of our Monday shows. You know, I mean, how controversial are those? Anyway, that's another thing, but don't get me started on that one. What are you saying? We're going to say there?
Yeah. I hear the city of New York sent Marjorie Taylor Greene a
Wait a minute.
citation.
Hold on a second.
How did we go there?
How do we go there? Don't you listen
You
to
were
what's
talking
going
about
on? Don't
Steve
you
Kravitz.
wait a minute. Don't you listen to what's going on here? Why don't you follow the flow of conversation rather than suddenly say, "Oh, but by the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene." Well, wait a minute, I wasn't even finished with Amazon yet.
Maybe it's linked to Amazon. Give him a chance, okay?
He may be linked to Amazon. Yeah. So I ordered this thing for my camera because my camera doesn't stabilize as well as I wanted it to. So I bought like a $200 gimbal that you can attach it to make it really smooth if you want to, and it'll also work with my iPhone and so on and so forth. And I ordered the thing, and they said it'll be here today, right? Be here by 10 o'clock tonight. Well, when they say by 10 o'clock, they're just hedging their bets. It's usually here by around 2 in the afternoon, 4 in the afternoon, you know. Well, on top of that, they sent me a thing saying, have you ever gotten this where you have to have a code that you read to the delivery person to get your package?
Oh, I've never had that.
They text it to you?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't trust those texts.
Well, not
I
a
delete
text.
the report.
It wasn't a text exactly. It's an email. Anyway, and you go online as well when you go to Amazon, and it has this little number. You're supposed to give it to him before he'll give you your package.
The hell?
I know.
Yeah.
I never heard of that before.
That
Okay.
sounds like a scam.
Well, no, I thought it was like a fishing or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
turned out it wasn't. That it's actually a real thing at Amazon now.
Mm.
On very expensive packages, we want to do this. And I went,
Oh, that's what.
yeah, but it's only 100 and how much money? How much money did I have in there? $186, right? Yeah, well, there you got one of them, right? There's
Yeah,
a
I think my
gimbal.
power's dead, but yes, I have one.
Yeah. What does that fit? Your iPhone?
Yeah, my iPhone and my GoPro, because I had the GoPro 4, and it didn't have all the stabilizer stuff.
Oh yeah, the stabilizers now in the GoPro. I mean, you can turn them upside down and they won't turn upside down. You know, but no, they're very good. But anyway, how much did that gimbal cost you?
Oh, I bought it like 5 or 6 years ago. I don't remember.
Oh, I see.
$100, guess.
Oh, okay. Well, then they
Yeah,
were
they
they
had
were
that back then.
they were $3.35 at that time. You know, but anyway, so I ordered this thing, and they said it'll be here by tomorrow. Okay, fine. You know, and I don't know if I exactly want it. I was thinking I was maybe going to send it back because, you know, it's too much to set up. It's a real heavy duty gimbal, right? And but anyway, I have to wait around for it, right? Because I have to give them this number in order to get my package delivered. All right. So I spent the whole day here. I think we went out to get some dinner, and then came back about an hour later because I saw it wasn't being delivered yet, you know. So we did that. But for the most part, I stuck around with our little baby monitor on so we could hear the buzzer go off and things like that. And, you know, we don't have a baby, but we do have deliveries. So, and I found the solution to, if you can't hear the buzzer, you put a baby monitor where the buzzer is, and then you turn on the baby monitor and you can hear the buzzer. All right. And we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. And the only reason I'm waiting is because I got to give him this goddamn number, right? So that forces me to stay around. Well, it gets to be like 9:45. And I call up Amazon and I say, what the hell's going on here? Well, I don't know. Let me go check with the guy. And they check with the guy and they say, oh, we're still out. It's still out for delivery. We're going to deliver it. Don't worry. So she tells me, don't worry. I guarantee it will be delivered tonight. What time is it now in New York? It's 11:07. Okay? No, nothing. No such animal.
43 minutes. Give him a chance.
And wait a minute. And on my page, it says still arriving today. Let me see. I just refreshed it. Now arriving tomorrow by 10 p.m.
53. Oh, well.
Okay. So now let's just say I waited around every minute today so I could be here to give them that stupid number. Okay? I may just cancel it, you know. I mean, it's just insane. But look at that. Now arriving by tomorrow. Previously expected April 6th. We're sorry for the delay. Why? The guy was several blocks away. He could have delivered it. I saw it on the map.
You got them.
Yeah,
I used to order something too.
Huh?
They update you, say 10 stops away.
Yeah, 10 stops away.
10 stops away.
In just a few more stops, he'll be there. This was at 7 o'clock tonight. So,
He says, screw you.
you know, I mean, the thing I guess that bothered me was not so much that they didn't deliver it, but then I had to wait for them to deliver it in order to give them this password.
Yeah.
And, you know, what kind of amazing crap is that?
Yeah.
You know.
And then they expect you to be there tomorrow morning, right?
But they gave me a $30 what do you call it, credit for my troubles.
Mm.
You know, my time's worth more than $30. Okay, but thank you so much. I'll take your credit anyway, and then I'll shove it up your butt. I didn't say the other word because I don't want to get demonetized. So I mean, that's what I had to put up with today, and I've just been grouchy all day over it. You know, I mean, they went to these people. I don't know where they got them. I think they're homeless people they hired, which is not bad. You know, gives them work. but these guys are lugging these boxes around all over, and it's just really cheap ass delivery service. And here's the part I really love. Let's say I order a lens cover, which is very light and small. Okay, they deliver it. It's there at my front door. It's there at my door, up on the 8th floor. It's there at my door. Now I order 2 big giant things of ice soda, and it weighs a ton, right? Guy like me, it's getting to the point where I can't lift that much, okay, without getting the hernia to pop, all right? Where do you think they leave that? Downstairs.
Downstairs.
They can bring up the little lens cover and leave it at my front door, but they can't bring up the whole big box. You know, and I'm going, you know, this is absurd. You know, what am I, this is supposed to be convenience, this kind of thing. And now, let's say I don't want to use Amazon anymore. Anybody got any suggestions?
Shit, I don't know. I just ordered something on Amazon when you said that before.
Really?
I ordered a Billy Joel CD, and it says it's coming by tomorrow night. $5.80. Songs in the attic.
Didn't they send you a note saying who buys CDs anymore?
I love the CDs. I'm getting into them again because I bought them.
I just bought a bunch.
Really?
Yeah, I like them, Alex. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I haven't even listened to them yet.
oh, you do like I do. I keep them wrapped up in them. Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah.
You try to get-
well, I stopped buying CDs years ago. I mean, if I'm going to buy the music, I just, you know, order it online, like out of iTunes, and download it digitally, because it's going to go into my, you know, iPhone anyway. So I may as well have it ready to go, you know, rather than having to. Yeah. In fact, you know something? I got a CD the other day because I wrote a screenplay with my friend Steve Weiner way back 30, 40 years ago, all right? And his wife made up a copy of it for me so I could have a copy of the screenplay. But it's on a CD. Do you know how long it took me to find a CD player, a reader around this apartment? I didn't know what I did with the old one. It's been so long since I used it. Finally, I found it, but you know, I don't. CDs? What? CD? It's old technology.
It is, but I still like it because now you can get them like $5 a piece, new ones.
What I like are the old 78s. That's what I like.
I actually got Alex. I got a record player now too. I bought a record player.
You know, you used to get these albums. This is where the
I
term.
have
This is where the term
Got a
album.
bunch.
This is where the term album came from, in which they had like this album, and then it had these sleeves in it. About if it was like a 12-sided thing, it was like 6 sleeves in there, and then you'd pull out each one and play the music and play the music and play the music, and I really enjoyed those 78s. Those were a lot of fun, but to just lift a whole album gave you a hernia. Okay. I mean, of course, everything gave me a hernia, but that's you know, that's a good example. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Do you have some of those 78s?
No.
You do?
I do.
Yeah. Really?
You want them? You can have
No,
them.
no, 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 no. Send them over to Phil.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear he got a new computer.
Oh yeah, he wrote me about it, and I told him he wasted his money.
He told me.
Yeah, and he did. There are 2 versions of this studio that I have, the Apple Studio, and one of them is more expensive than the other, and guess which one gets the best reviews?
The other one, the one you got.
The cheaper one, yeah. The reason I didn't get the other one was because there was no advantage, according to most of the reviews, to getting that particular computer. So, well, I've got money to waste. Well, then, yes, you've got money to waste, but you certainly could buy something better. You could have gotten more for that money with the one that I have and adding stuff to it, okay, than you got with that thing, which, you know, and he says, well, I need it for my photography. And I said, it's not good for your photography. It's meant for video. You know, it's optimized for video. So anyway, I got into a big pissing match with him online, and then I got so pissed off at him, I don't even want to talk to him anymore.
I heard about that.
You know. I mean, he's frustrating, you know. He likes to brag about how he throws his money around.
Yep.
And that's not nice to do. Okay? That's really mean. I mean, some people don't have the kind of money you have, Phil. Although I probably have more than he has, but you know, I don't push my money around. Hey, here's how much I've got. I can afford to piss away this and that, you know. And I mean, I bought this because I use this every night. All he's going to use it for is to occasionally use it on a photograph or something and think that it's doing a great job on the photograph when he could have gotten another machine, maybe even a PC that did photos better, you know. But no, he's just got to go out and say how much he spent. You know.
Who's that?
Phil.
You got a one up. Got a one up.
Buddy.
Huh?
He's got
got
him.
one up you.
Yeah, I said the only reason you want one is because I have one.
That's
He's
right.
copying you, right? Yeah. Aw.
You know, there were a lot better computers you could have gotten. You know,
Oh, he bought a new computer?
Yeah.
Up, yeah, now
follow along,
listening.
will you? Just follow along.
Get his album.
Look, I got to show you my Bob Dylan album. Reissue.
No, boy.
Bob
Everybody
Dylan,
wants to drive this show into a ditch here. What is
Yeah.
this?
Hey, wait a second. I'll let you. I don't want to get you demonetized. Look, I just got Jimi Hendrix on vinyl.
Yeah, I had that one. I got rid of that
Got rid of it? Oh,
years
I got
ago.
rid of it. I bought it in '68.
This is a great album.
When I
The last
came out to
record-
New York, I sold most of my albums because I said I'm never going to need them again. You know?
The last record is that's a great album.
Yeah, yeah. I still saved some, but I can't remember which ones I saved.
I'll bring these downstairs.
Yeah.
I just played the Dylan album.
Can I bring up Marjorie Trash Can Green for a second?
You really got to. Do you have to?
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about Amazon for a little bit longer, though. I just bought some inner insoles for my shoes. 2 buttons I pushed. I pushed for the soles and I pushed to confirm and done. They're going to be here tomorrow. I got an air cleaner yesterday, going to be here tomorrow. Oh, no, sorry. Was here today. I ordered it
But
last
if you
night.
ever
I got it
notice that
already.
if you really have something that you really need right now, you know, you ran out of it or something like that, and then you look at it and it goes, okay, but we'll be delivering it in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
What?
Huh? Really?
I thought you were
I'm
the
afraid-
next day, you know? What,
Last
3
night we were
weeks?
talking about Charlie's toes being taken off, and man, my feet have been killing me lately. So I gotta have some soles. I'm sure. I'm worried. Charlie, how did the pain was just so bad, and then they cut them off, or what happened?
No, there was no pain. I lost the feeling of pain in my feet years ago.
Oh, that was your neuropathy. Yeah. Yeah.
So no, what happened is my toe turns black and starts smelling bad, and I know something's wrong. So they cut them off because
Wait a
they were
minute.
dead.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm not that bad.
I can't even get my foot up that high. Okay. Oh, hey, it's black.
Don't fall back,
no.
please.
Oh, no, those are my.
Don't fall back.
Those are my socks. Okay. All right.
If you fall back, how are we gonna get a hold of Marjorie to keep
Yeah.
She's asleep right now,
I know you'll be there for like
and she's
3
got
or
her
4 hours.
and she's got her phone turned off. You know,
They'll find you in the morning.
Okay.
now
Are we done
arriving
with
tomorrow.
Amazon now for a minute?
What?
Are we done with Amazon now for a minute?
No, I think we got a few more things we got to do about Amazon.
So,
And another thing.
so Marjorie Taylor Greene opens up with her bullhorn in New York.
Yes, we know. We told that story last night.
And Tony's
I
brother
know,
was
and I was
listening.
listening to that, and
He wasn't.
the city of New York is sending her a $250 fine. She didn't have a permit to use it.
Good. I wish they'd charged her more. You know,
She says she's not going to pay it.
she's not going to pay it.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's already on Fox News today. She said,
Why
she's not-
isn't she going to pay it? She broke the law.
Yep.
Yeah.
These
Because-
these God-fearing Republicans who say they're pro-law and everything like that, break the law like crazy.
Yep.
You know, and then defiantly break the law. You know, and this is, you know, I have the right to free speech, yes, but you don't have the right to pull out a bullhorn and start talking.
That's
Except when it happens in Tennessee in the state legislature, where 3 people got up and used a bullhorn to protest. What were they protesting? I'm trying to remember what were they protesting,
Guns.
Josh? You know the story? Huh? Guns.
Guns.
Yeah. and they had voted to expel them from
Kick them out. Yep.
kick them out, which was really wrong, because if you can't like protest inside that body, where can you protest? You know, and it turns out that two of these people were black, and one was a woman. So they're saying, you know, it's no mere coincidence that two of them are black and one is a woman. You know.
Well, no self-righteous black man would be a Republican anyhow. So.
Well, there are some.
They were Democrats.
I know they were Democrats. Saw the story. But
Well, these people were Democrats, yeah. What's happening to this country? You know, what's happening to the law? You know, the law of the land. It's ridiculous. You know, I mean, also tonight, what's his name? Oh boy, my mind. It's just going.
What's the topic?
No, what's his name? The Republican, Graham.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about,
Graham?
huh?
Graham?
Yeah,
Senator
Lindsey
Graham.
Graham. Tonight finally came down on Trump. Finally, saying that Trump had done some kind of thing on Truth Social or whatever, or somewhere, saying that we should defund the FBI and the what is it, and what else, the NSA, huh?
Department of Justice.
Department of Justice, yeah. And he said, I think that's a bad idea. He said, I think that's dangerous to defund them. But, you know, Trump wants to defund them because anybody who's against him, he wants to defund. You know.
But it wasn't dangerous to wipe out the Constitution, huh? Why didn't Graham speak up then?
Well, he did that, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, then he went on Sean Hannity after that and begged people to send Trump money for his legal defense.
But send it to him, not to Trump. Send it to Lindsey Graham.
Oh, really? Is
That's
that
what he said.
Well, I'd rather see that happen than it go to Trump, who's going to use that money and use it for his own devices, like buy hookers or whatever, you know. So that's the reason why. I heard some sound coming back at me. What is that all about? Hold on.
I'm not going to burn anybody, but now it stopped.
Did it stop?
Yeah, because the person turned off their microphone.
Who was that? Mm-hmm.
Josh, I don't know this for a fact. Don't get upset with me, Josh, but your yellow thing was lighting up around your, so I just assumed it was something you had in the background.
What do you think about all this, Josh? You haven't called up since Il Duce got busted, got in, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna have to take it seriously. I mean, I think it's kind of stupid that there's now no more action for like 8 months or something, they said. I mean, I think the ridiculous pace that moves at is really stupid. I mean, I don't know how you can get arraigned and, you know, they can't find time to do any sort of trial for 8 months, you know. It's not just for him. I mean, I think that's just normally how it works, you know, unless the defendant really wants to move it up or whatever, which he obviously
no, he doesn't want to move it up, because here's what he wants to. He wants to stall it.
Oh, right.
Hoping he becomes president, and then if he becomes president, he will use that to stop it until he's no longer president again.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it'll get handled before the election, but it's just sad that it'll.
Well, is it they're not going to try it for 9 months, or it's that they're not going to do anything for 9 months?
I don't think they're really going to do anything. All I really heard was that the next court date was in like 8 months, and I would imagine that the next thing that they would do would be to come together and either set a trial date at that point, or if the trial date is in 8 months, then that would begin jury selection, which could take, I don't know, a couple of days.
Oh, you really
guess.
think that Trump is going to let this thing happen that fast? He's going
Well,
to do everything to
at some
stall
point,
it.
there's not a lot he can do to keep delaying it. I mean, because 8 months is a long time, so he won't be able to make the argument that they didn't have ample time to prepare their defense or anything like that. And in that 8 months, they can get a lot of their pre-trial motions and stuff out of the way, I guess, about what they think about like evidence, and I'm sure they'll move to dismiss, which will probably get denied, and there'll be all this stuff. So I mean, I think they should be ready in 8 months, but I don't know what.
Look how long my case took, and this was just a simple tenant landlord argument.
Yeah.
Okay, took
Well,
9 years.
Lawsuits can be that way for sure, but I mean, at least with a criminal trial, now that this part is out of the way, I mean, but like once it starts, and then they pretty much go until it's done, whether that takes a couple days or a couple weeks. But I don't know how long a case like this would take. But
in the United,
I mean, they don't go to trial a lot. A lot of this stuff would probably get settled or whatever. But I don't think he'll probably just drag it, for every last little bit or whatever.
In the United States, you have rights to a speedy trial, but the defendants usually waive those rights. So that's what Trump's lawyers did, and that way they can gather evidence during discovery and stuff, and supposedly, and they're just going to drag their feet like
To begin with, he has really crappy lawyers. I heard somebody say what great lawyers they were, but no, they're crappy lawyers. They're the lawyers that are left who are willing to take to work for Donald Trump and realize that he stiffs every lawyer he's ever had.
Or sends them to jail.
So what do you get with that? You get this guy. Who's this guy? What's his name? He looks like a mob lawyer.
Oh, yeah. He looks like someone like Bruce Cutler.
Constando or something.
Bruce Cutler's brother, Tony.
If somebody could look up his name, I'd appreciate it.
I bet you he got paid up front.
Huh?
Yeah, maybe.
I bet you he didn't take it till he got paid.
I don't think Trump would pay up front. I don't think Trump has the money to pay up front.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
I think we determined last night that airplane is probably his company owns it, but it's a 1991 plane that he leases out to other people and then uses for his own devices when he has to.
Takapini. That's what.
Takapini or something like that.
Yeah.
Tapioca, I think is his name.
If Marjorie Taylor Greene thought so much of Trump, why didn't Trump invite her to fly up there? Why'd she have to go up on her own?
Because nobody wants to be with her, even Trump.
I mean, he's gonna have to take, this deal serious. I mean, I don't know what would become of whatever here, because I mean, I'm still gonna be skeptical until the end. But I mean, if he goes to a trial and he's found guilty, he's found guilty. I mean, he gets his sentence of whatever. I mean, I don't really know what to think about what that would do, but I mean, I find it kind of hard to believe that anywhere in America that you could get found guilty of 30 plus felony counts and not spend any time in jail. I mean, it's not gonna be like 30 years or whatever, but I mean, even first time offender, I mean, I've never really done anything, speeding tickets or anything, but I would have to think that if I committed 30 counts of some kind of fraud or something like that, that I'd probably get something in jail, like 30 days. I mean, something. I mean, and then, like restitutions and probations and all that, so that they can kind of, make your life heck for a long time. But I would assume it would come with some sort of incarceration for at least a small period, but you never know. So, as I'm saying, I'm sure that he's actually pretty worried, but he's not gonna, say that or whatever. But I still say, I think we talked about this Saturday. I mean, he can cry all he wants and everything, but he's the problem. He's not the victim of anything. I mean, that's what I mean.
He said, "Look, look. You know something?
Judge and
Yeah,
it's the grand jury and it's the
yeah. But you know
prosecutor.
something? I got to tell you this, Josh.
What's that?
His problem is that he for years has been committing crimes. For years. It's just they didn't ever settle down and go get him. Okay? This is making up for lost time. I mean, he's been in this city for years ripping people off and doing illegal things. It's just catching up with him now. You know?
Yeah, I mean, he just, and I laughed to myself this morning and felt a little vindicated because I've said this before and I'll say it again. The next time anyone's trying to act like, well, as a pretty decent, Republican, Mitt Romney's not so bad. Well, and there's a clip of Mitt Romney running around telling everybody it's a political prosecution by an overzealous prosecutor who just wants to be the next mayor.
Why don't we say this, that maybe this is a prosecution that would have happened a hell of a lot earlier if he hadn't become president.
Exactly.
And that was the thing that kind of was his camouflage for a time being. But that these crimes were going on before he was president.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and so what's Mitt Romney doing saying that? I mean, Mitt Romney knows
Romney.
If I falsified documents and did all this, he knows that I would get prosecuted for it. So what is he doing running around telling people that, they're just out to get Trump? I mean, what?
Well, I mean, to begin with,
shut up or say what he. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
To begin with, they're not treating him like they would treat anybody else.
Oh.
If I had
agree.
done what he did and they were going to indict me, I would have a knock on the door. It would be the police. They would put handcuffs on me, put me in the police car, keep me in jail overnight, then run me before a judge who would then read the charges against me, still with my handcuffs on, and I mean, he'd been given the privilege of saying, okay, I'll show up in New York and allow you to indict me. Okay. Oh, we won't do handcuffs and we won't do a mugshot.
Yeah. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, we had this conversation Saturday night about how you're just not going to pry an ounce of respect out of me for anyone in the Republican Party. You're just, I mean, for years, you're just not. I mean, like I said, Mitt Romney, out. We talked about, what about Paul
Of course,
Ryan?
we don't have any Republicans
so
here.
Bad and all that. Oh, you mean the guy who's on the Fox News' board and sat by and let all that garbage happen and didn't say, you know what, I don't think I need Fox News money right now. I'm resigning. I'm out of here. No. They're trash. They're not respectable.
Well, they have
disloyal Americans.
Yeah, they're no longer the Republican Party we knew, who stood up for really American way of life and honesty and law and order was one of the things they were for. So if you're for law and order, why are you defending this creep face right now? Yes.
It's too bad they didn't take a mugshot of him picture, because then they can put it on a U.S. stamp when he goes to prison.
Well, he has made up a mugshot of himself, and he's selling it for $47 on a T-shirt.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah. So he really wanted a mugshot. It wasn't he was against the mugshot. I think they knew what he would do with it.
Trying to publicize everything. Want money for everything.
Yeah, Tony?
Would it be wrong for me to pull out my political comics and send them to CGC? Because now's the time to strike. He's a hot ticket right now. Maybe I'll sell them.
Absolutely. Look, if you can make money off
I got one where he's fighting Barack Obama on the cover. They're fighting each other like a superhero punch out.
Oh, really? That's
got money written all over.
Would anybody here buy one of those T-shirts? No.
Yeah. Oh, I bought one. It's the Incredible Trump versus the Black Panther. And they fight on the cover. It's like a fight out. And whatchamacallit, I sold out for like $140 if it's a 9.8.
Probably get more for it today.
That's what I'm thinking, Alex. Because if he goes to jail or even to him, he's got heat written all over him. I love it.
Yeah, well, no, he is, he's still being a bad boy. He's still going out and putting down the judge and putting down the judge's wife and the judge's children.
Daughter.
And
Daughter,
he's doing all of that, and he's doing that because I think he wants him to have the judge silence him. Then he's going to yell, "My rights are being blah 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 blah." I mean, all this fake crying about nothing that he hasn't created for himself.
And then he usually has the sons do something. Donna Jr. is always tweeting something out too.
Well, that whole family is scumbags. Even Ivanka doesn't want to have anything to do with this anymore.
Yeah, my sister. She got smart. Maybe she got a little bit of the mother's class.
It wasn't that she got smart. I mean, her father was no longer president. She got out of there. She didn't want any part of this. Okay. Or to be part of this or be known as part of this, because it sullies her brand, whatever that brand is.
But like I said, I just get so confused. I mean, what is a guy like Mitt Romney going around saying that kind of stuff for? I mean, don't get me wrong. He prefaces it by saying, well, I don't think Trump is qualified to ever be president again. But this is obviously a political persecution by an overzealous dictator of a prosecutor who wants to be the king of New York. I mean, come on, it's not.
All this is
that's not what it is.
Is a judge who's only doing his job.
Maybe the judge will show contempt of court, and they'll go and arrest him.
And Trump says, well, it's a judge who doesn't like me, and it's a DA who doesn't like me. Well, who doesn't not like you, Donald?
But
I mean, everybody hates you.
And that's what we talked about, last weekend or whatever. But you can't say that for every judge and every prosecutor and every grand jury membership group and every, citizenry and everything and every case.
You had 24 people on this grand jury.
Yeah.
And they brought these charges against him.
The same thing in Georgia. The same thing will happen when they convene one federally for the January 6th stuff. Maybe. I don't think there's one right now. It's an investigation, or maybe he does have a grant. I think it's just a special prosecutor at the moment. But they'll convene one, right? Same thing there. Same thing with this. There's another one out there somewhere. I mean, there's like at least 3, maybe 4 to 5 of them. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's not every judge isn't corrupt, and every grand jury. All the members and all the prosecutors, and the common denominator is Trump. I mean, they just love me in the South. Oh, they just love me.
But isn't it interesting about
Georgia and all that? What? And then he's going to get charged with crimes in Georgia.
But isn't it interesting about Trump that he is yelling and screaming about people wanting to defund the police, and now he's out yelling and screaming defund this, the FBI and
that's what I've always said. I mean,
what hypocrisy! What hypocrisy!
Yeah, like he's untouchable.
I mean,
that's what they always have cried about. I mean, you get, the committee to investigate, the weaponization of the Department of Justice and all that. I mean. What are they gonna? They're gonna have people come in there and ask them, "Are you now, or have you ever been a never Trumper?" So what if you were, right? Yeah, I was a communist. So what? Yeah, I was a never Trumper.
And look,
what's the difference?
It seems very, very reasonable to me that these are reasonable charges. I mean, these are charges of things that he did which are illegal by law. Now, whether he did them or not is still a question. He has the presumption of innocence, although, quite frankly, if there's a good tree out there, I think we should throw up a rope. And no, I'm taking, excuse me, anybody who's listening, I'm not threatening the former president of the United States, because there are other people who can do this much better than me. Okay.
How long you can hold your breath while we tie rope and thing around you.
I mean, to begin with, we've got to find enough rope to go around that fat neck.
Right.
But I mean,
get two of them in case one breaks.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You don't look that bad. You're doing good.
Yeah, but I mean, I just think that he's playing his base, and he's making fools out of them. Listen, if you're part of Trump's base and you're watching this right now, and I don't think any of you do, because you only listen to stuff that justifies what you think, okay? But if you are watching this, I ask you the very simple question. Are you sending money to help a billionaire?
I'm sure.
How silly is that? Well, we want him to keep his billions. Well, he doesn't even have billions. Lucky if he's got $500,000, you know.
I wonder how much he's worth.
Oh, I'm sure he's got next to nothing, you know.
Well, I mean, there's a fair chance he's going to end up here at some point getting charged with probably with tax evasion or some sort of tax fraud crime. I mean, those returns have only been available to certain investigators for just a few months now, if that, right? I mean, that wasn't that long ago that all that finally left the IRS and was able to go to various prosecutorial groups that had asked for them, including, you know, the U.S. House of Representatives, who has turned them over to other people. I mean, at some point, he'll probably end up charged with tax fraud or tax evasion, you know, however it would get termed. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. This is not weapon. I mean, he's a lawbreaker. I mean, you know, but
well,
that's
no, alleged. Look, alleged lawbreaker.
Well, right, you know, but that's what I keep saying is, what is the difference between calling someone before Congress and asking them, are you now, or if you've been a communist supporter of the Communist Party, and hauling them in there and asking them, are you now, or have you ever been an ever-Trumper? I mean, they're both political beliefs.
Well, you're allowed to be a never-Trumper.
You're allowed to be a communist.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
I mean, we went through that thing and we lived through it. Have they learned nothing? I mean, yeah, I mean.
Well, you have to understand that Trump, if he had his way, his druthers, would be another Mussolini.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
in fact,
yeah,
he takes the posture of Mussolini, you know, with the folded arms and all of that, you know, and this thing, that's the one that really gets me, you know.
And look, if you find some government official somewhere that overtly went out of their way to manufacture evidence or keep something or whatever to damage him, you know, and they broke the law, then prosecute them, and I'll be fine with it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'll say, there you go, they're in jail where they belong. I mean, you know, I'm fine with that. I mean, so, but none of that is happening, and it is not because everybody in the government. I mean, it's not happening. You know what? Because there is none. Or if there is one or two of the tens of thousands of people that work for the federal government, it's so isolated that they obviously have no power.
Well, yeah. I mean,
you know,
there are. Yeah, I mean, it's just you know, a question of whether and how long this is going to take. Can Trump run out the clock? You know, he's hoping, he's running for president because he wants to be president again, so they can't go ahead with these charges against him, which they would probably have to stop until after he was no longer president again. So we got to make sure he doesn't become president again.
Right, and that's
I mean, we've never had a president who wants to be president of the United States more than he does because he wants it to avoid prosecution.
Yeah, that's what he thinks, right?
Yeah, that's his thinking.
I mean, he probably has he'd have a better chance if he would stop and support someone else who would agree secretly to give him a pardon. Well, he would be better off trying to get someone else elected, if you ask me.
Now, there were a couple of stories today that I think we need to address. And this is the one I think is the most important story of the day. It's the whole Clarence Thomas deal.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Are you all familiar with this? Yeah. Clarence Thomas supposedly had a beneficiary in the Republican Party who for 20 years has taken him on jet trips and sailboat rides and all kinds of things. He has been taking a fortune's worth of money. His wife took $500,000 in a contribution from this guy. I don't have his name here right now, but it's a billionaire. Guy had a lot of money and helps fund the Republican Party. Does this sound like something? What can they do to him, Josh? You're the judicial scholar here.
Pursue some sort of, impeachment. There are no jobs in the government that are absolutely guaranteed for life without the possibility of removal. Presidents get a term, but they can be removed before the term. Any job can be removed before its term. Their term happens to be for life, but they can take steps to remove to remove him. And I had a super duper crazy day, and I have not read the stories. I heard a few small seconds of it. I read the headlines and the brief little paragraph that you get as a preview or whatever from a couple of the newspapers that I subscribe to. So I'm not 100% clued in.
Well, let me give you.
What is he thinking? I've always been willing to give people whose judicial philosophy I do not agree with a large leeway and a large benefit because they are pursuing what they believe to be their judicial philosophy, which I am fine with. But when you tie that to something like this, that's just complete stupidity.
Well, let me read this to you so that you can know. This is the short thing of it, and I'm just reading it. It says, for over 20 years, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas has been treated to luxury vacations by billionaire Republican donor Harlem Crow. That's the guy's name. Yeah. It goes. Let me see here. I want to get rid of this. Hold on a second, then I can be able to see it better. He goes on cruises and far-flung locales on Crow's yacht called the Michaela Rose. Flies on his private jet. He's been doing this for 20 years now. And keeps company with Crow's powerful friends at the billionaire's private resort.
Yeah, Justice's term is for life, and I try to remember the exact verbiage, but I believe that it's written with the disclaimer in there that they shall serve for life, under or during good behavior, and some more to the sentence. So it is clear that they can be removed for, not good behavior.
Right.
Well, I would consider this not good behavior. Now there are things people have cried for over the years about other justices, impeach him, and I've never been willing to go over that line. But something like this would disturb me greatly, and I would have no problem with, at the least, to begin with right now, a serious investigation into the matter. Yeah. Do I think they should have a trial and impeach him tomorrow? Well, no, right? Because this is an article in the newspaper and it needs to be checked out. But if they check it out and they find some of this stuff is happening and there's nothing in the filings that he's supposed to give the court every year on his conflicts of interest, and there's nothing about this stuff on his tax returns or any other type of documents, then I have a real problem with that.
Yeah.
And I love Justice Breyer, and if it had been Justice Breyer, who I know is retired now, I would have had a real problem with that.
Charlie's sitting there with America's manual.
Yeah.
I couldn't reach
Article 3, Section 1. The judges, both of the Supreme and inferior courts, shall hold their offices during good behavior. That's all it says.
Which means, for life. So yeah,
but they have to be on their best behavior. However,
now is this bad behavior? To me, I think that's bad behavior to be taking these gifts for 20 years.
Hell, if I did this in business, I would be called to account.
Sure.
Okay, not let alone being on the Supreme Court.
So it's obviously discretionary. you know, to those who have the power to impeach him. But discretionary means discretionary. I mean, it means at the
Let
least
me ask you this,
they have
though.
the right to look into.
Let me ask you this. Let's suppose they find him guilty of these offenses, of these things, of being bought and paid for by this guy. Could they retroactively go back to all the cases he did his verdict on and say, hey, we have to reverse those because he was being bought and paid for?
No, they'd never be able to do that. And in probably in every single one of them, changing his vote probably would not change the outcome anyway.
Yeah.
You've got this wonderful job for life. How much does it pay a year? Do you know?
It's not a huge amount of money, but they are allowed to make private money. They can write a book and sell it, you know, which they all do.
Yeah, they all do.
Republic,
They all do. And I don't deny them that ability. Okay.
You know, they can give a speech and get paid.
But how much do they? How much do they
do.
get paid? Couple $100,000 a year?
I don't remember. I don't think they make more than the president, but I doubt it. And I think the president's only like
400,000. No, 400,000.
That high now?
Yeah, 400,000 a year.
Yeah.
I thought they made more than members of Congress, but less than the president. Like 200 something. I mean, I thought, but
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how much service they have.
What is
yeah,
it?
it may too.
But it says if you have more than 8 years of service, then you make $201,600.
Yeah, I didn't think it was too much. I think the Chief Justice might.
But it is, number one, it is a heralded job. It's a wonderful job. You are making a couple $100,000 a year. Every 5 years, you've made $1 million. Okay, it pays. You've been paid well. But if you then take other money, and then you're basing some of your decisions in court cases based upon this guy's whims, you got a big question there, you know?
Yeah, and we don't know, you know.
Look, we all know
but I mean, even if he didn't, I still don't. This is still improper.
Yeah.
You know,
Clarence Thomas.
Even if it never influenced the case ever. And he really was honest Joe on the bench. That's fine, but this is still improper, you know.
Well, I think Clarence Thomas has always been a rather corrupt member of the Supreme Court.
Right. But I'm just saying, I can be the best manager at where I'm at, and doing all that, and everything's great. But if I take free stuff from the vendors that come in, and I don't ever tell anybody, and I'm not supposed to, I can. Two things can be true at the same time, right? I can still be a great manager, but also not, you know what I'm saying, have broken some rules.
Some major rules. This kind of rule would be a major rule you would break in any business. I mean, for instance, Brian, at your company, if you were to suddenly let some vendor buy you stuff, and then you went ahead and favored that vendor in some kind of bidding process, that'd be wrong, right?
Yeah, we signed our contract before. My grandfather was a bigwig at Safeway. Had a house up in Hillsborough and was taking money off the side from his vendors, and they made an example of him, and they fired him and took a bunch of stuff from him. But that's what he got in trouble for, and everybody was doing it.
Yeah. Well, I had a friend who was a bigwig at Safeway. He was a butcher, actually. Okay. Well, enough of that. That fell flat.
I was
Chief Justice makes $277,000 a year.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Me want that.
He does have
job.
a lot more responsibility. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, they have the right to investigate, and they should investigate. And the good news is that the Senate Judiciary Committee is currently run by the Democratic Party. So the matter will most certainly get looked into. Now, you know, the actual removal is quite a bit more difficult. I don't make any judgment on that yet because I need to look into it. But on the surface,
I see him. I see him resigning.
I mean, I would think that some people need to encourage him to do that. I don't know. He's
for the good of the court. For the good of the court. You know, for the good of the
agree.
court.
Yeah.
But the Republicans will never
person.
go along with that because Biden get to a
right.
point.
Mm-hmm.
They still will have a majority.
Yeah.
You know, they'll still have a majority.
Well, it'll be I mean, him leaving today and Biden putting someone else in would be a huge.
Yeah.
It'd be a body blow to Republican politicians. I mean,
but how easy are they going to allow Biden to pick his successor?
Well, they're not, but I mean, at the end of the day, it'll be someone who's not Clarence Thomas, which will. I mean, this one will.
Democrats control the Senate. They would.
Well, they do, but I mean, I'm just saying it's not going to be.
Is the Senate where it has to be
You got to get rid
affirmed?
of him first, and I'm saying that's going to be damn near.
Yeah, 2/3.
I mean,
Republicans would have to go along.
I'm just saying this conversation involves counting on the current sitting Republican senators to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Bad chance. Bad chance.
I'm just saying that I mean, I don't really know what to say. You know, I mean, counting on even 10 or 12 of them to do the right thing is probably not going to happen.
You don't seem to have much faith in the Republican Party, do you?
I currently don't. I mean, I have. I mean, I have none.
Yeah, let me ask Wayne. Wayne, what do you think? I have to drag him out a little bit because he doesn't.
That's okay. I agree with Josh a lot.
Yeah.
Really, you know.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop right there.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you know, you're welcome to jump in anytime you want to.
Okay, I'm happy to occupy
because
the square.
You got a great microphone there. We can hear you clearly, succinctly. You know. I just don't know what's happening to this country. Marjorie every day says to me, "Oh, it's just getting horrible," and I go, "Well, you watch too much MSNBC to begin with." I said, "You watch that crap every day. And you're not going to think anything is fine. You know, it's going to be worse. Nothing could be as bad as the world of MSNBC. Okay. Unless it's perhaps Fox, you know.
And it's not that bad, but there is heightened political turmoil over most of modern history. I mean, it's not Civil War or what, but I'm just saying, and it is at a different level of ugliness, and there's just no integrity right now. I mean, there are just people of ill report full in Congress, and I mean, we haven't even talked about it, and maybe you guys did, but I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene basically gets, a spotlight on 60 Minutes to call the President of the United States a pedophile.
But to Leslie Stahl's credit, she didn't let her get away with it.
I agree. But I'm just saying that's where it's at right now. And I mean, it's just, there's no one with any real integrity who can just show up and say, we're 535 members of Congress. I don't agree with what they're saying. Here's my idea. Here's how I want to fix it. And then the other side says, I don't agree with what they're saying. Here's my idea. And here's how I want to fix it. It's not about any of that. It's all about, they just don't love America, or we love it more. I mean, come on. They're so evil. They're grooming your children. I mean, what is this? It's just pure crazy.
Yeah.
But it's really sad. I mean, it's terrible.
Yeah, if there was ever a pedophile, it's surely Joe Biden.
Oh,
yeah, right. Listen, at his age, I doubt if he can even get an erection. Okay, but because I can't. So if I can't, he can't. Okay.
Trump is, Jesus's personal assistant or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, listen, we've run out of time here. Jeff, you awake, Jeff?
I don't think so.
Oh, I think we lost Jeff.
Jeff.
He's muted.
Oh, well. Anyway, thank you, Jeff.
Pam to the rescue.
Yeah,
Thanks, Pam.
Pam, thank you. I just wanted to say goodnight to Jeff.
Good night, Pam.
Yeah, but that's okay. I don't know. Do I take that as that I put him to sleep? I don't know. And anyway, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Alan. We appreciate it. Josh, thank you. Thank you to Charlie Wallace and to Brian. Always a pleasure. And, of course, to Tony, sell them comic books. And to Wayne, we love having you here, you know. Okay, everybody, give a big wave goodbye, and we'll give a big wave goodbye at you, okay? There they go. That's our citizen panel, folks. There they go. Okay, let me just hang up on him here. Jack Bishop is next. He's here with The Intersection. He'll be taking your calls on Skype at Gabnet Live. I'll see you again tomorrow night. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Good night, everybody.